Have you ever wondered how the shape of modern Africa came to be? What series of events led to the borders we see today? Well, the answer lies, in part, with an event known as the Berlin Conference. In the winter of 1884, a meeting was called. Not just any meeting, mind you, but one that would radically alter the face of an entire continent. This was the Berlin Conference, a gathering of 14 European nations in the heart of Germany. The aim? To carve up Africa like a colossal cake, each slice a new territory for the taking. The first key event was the opening of the conference on November 15, 1884. Chancellor Otto von Bismarck of Germany, the host nation, set the tone with a speech that championed the notion of a civilizing mission. He proposed that Africa was a dark continent that needed the light of European civilization. Next came the Scramble for Africa. Over the course of 3 months, each country presented their claims, negotiated their borders, and laid out their plans for African territories. Imagine a room full of diplomats, each one eyeing a map of Africa, pencil in hand, ready to draw lines where none had existed before. The final event was the signing of the General Act on February 26, 1885. This act, consisting of 35 articles, was the culmination of the conference. It formalized the European partition of Africa, setting the stage for a new era of colonialism. This conference, largely forgotten by many, had significant and long-lasting impacts. It led to the partition of Africa among several European powers, including Britain, France, Germany, and Belgium. This arbitrary carving up of the continent disregarded existing cultural, linguistic, and political boundaries, leading to conflicts that persist to this day. The Berlin Conference also set the rules for future occupation of African territory. It established the principle of effective occupation, which meant that to claim a territory, a European power had to prove it could control and administer the area. The legacy of the Berlin Conference is a complex one. On one hand, it ushered in an era of European dominance and exploitation of African resources. On the other, it set the stage for the creation of modern African states, many of which still exist within the borders drawn over a century ago. In summary, the Berlin Conference was a pivotal event in the history of Africa. It was a meeting where the fate of a continent was decided by foreign powers without a single African representative present. It laid the groundwork for a new form of colonialism and set the stage for the geopolitical landscape of modern Africa. The Berlin Conference serves as a stark reminder of the impacts of colonialism and the power dynamics of the past. It forces us to reflect on the lines drawn on a map and the lives they affect, even today. So next time you look at a map of Africa, remember the Berlin Conference. Remember the diplomats with their pencils, the scramble for territory, and the General Act that sealed the fate of a continent. And most importantly, remember the people of Africa, whose lives were forever changed by the decisions made in a grand conference hall halfway across the world.